Hello. Yeah, hi. So again, a first stream, and in this stream, uh, I'm going to do a little bit R&D on Bootstrap, CSS, and its JavaScript. So yeah, by default, Bootstrap ships with all the bundle of CSS and JavaScript, and Uh, sometimes that is an issue in terms of SEO, wherein we ship the unused CSS and JavaScript. So in here, today we'll try to do a little bit R&D on how we can optimize that. We'll experiment with multiple bundlers like Webpack, Parcel, and Wheat, and try to figure out how we can optimize this. uh, there are some documentation like how to optimize in the production on the Bootstrap itself, like okay in here. There is some documentation or some links shared in somewhere in the docs where has the list of procedures or tools that we can use to improve the bundle sizes. One of those are we can just cherry pick some of the models that we are going to use. So for example, in the SAS, Bootstrap is built up on the SAS, and we can just cherry pick one of these models that we want to use. For example, if we just want to use the grid or other models like components uh, accordion batches and a specific component, then we can select and reduce the size of bundle. So this is the official documentation wherein we can just use it to reduce the size of CSS. Now there are some additional optimization that we can do, removing unused CSS. Again, this is uh, already documented over here as well, some of these external links shared by community. We'll dig into these two as well. Along with that, if we we'll try to see if we can make some PRs to Bootstrap as well. Okay, so starting with cloning the getting started templates and getting the basic metrics of these bundles, like what actual default bundle sizes are, and we'll try to note it down on the GitHub. So what I'll do, I'll just try to create a new repository wherein we can just store everything that we want to, we are going to research, or whatever the R&D we are going to do here. Okay, I'm going to call it BS5 optimize. Okay, Bootstrap 5, CSS, and JavaScript. We'll also look into the JavaScript, but CSS is going to be the main goal here. So R&D of Bootstrap 5, CSS, and JavaScript optimization for production. Okay, over here, just go with the default template, and let's clone it in the local. Okay. Then I'll seed into it and open this in PHP Storm. Okay, is it opening? Yep, there we go. Yeah, hey from shoot. Okay, now the project is up. Okay, there are no files in here, so we'll start with adding some files here. Okay, let's go into the Bootstrap first and try to get the basic first Webpack template here. So we are going to try all these three bundlers. So what I'm going to do here is create three directories and by the bundlers, and then set up the best metrics for each of them. Okay, so I'll create the first Webpack. Okay, now we have the directory. Now we can follow this Bootstrap getting started instructions to set up the Webpack for the Bootstrap. Okay. Okay, then second line will install the packages and everything. Okay, for some reason it's not loading all the files. Let me check. Okay, now we have the directory and everything. The project and yep. Okay, so what we have done here is like creating the Webpack directory and setting up the Bootstrap with the Webpack. So I'm just following this instruction that are on the Bootstrap documentation and installing all the dependencies that are required to set up the Webpack. Okay, then all done. Then we have to set up the projects directory. So basically these commands are going to create these directories: src, javascript and scss. So let's create that. Then we are going to create these files: index.html, main.js, styles.css and webpack config. So by default, like we just created those, so there is nothing in this file. So we'll be copying all these settings. So first thing one is like webpack config. Then in index.html, we'll copy paste the HTML. Also we'll need to add the start and build commands into the package.json. Okay, good. Then we'll try to start the server. So npm start. This will start the webpack and it will serve the index.html that we configured over here. Okay, so it is running on port 8080. Let's try to open that. Yeah, now we have the webpack running, but there is no bootstrap in here. So what we'll do, we'll have to configure the bootstrap as well. So again, following the instructions, over here we have to configure these rules for like compiling the CSS and everything. So again, just copy paste this file and override the webpack config. Okay, and we'll just restart the server. And again, this should not have the CSS yet. Okay, it is compiled and we'll try to, yeah. In order to make the CSS work, we'll have to use the Bootstrap's CSS. So we'll just basically import all the Bootstrap CSS into the our style.css file, and then we are going to do the same into the main.js, wherein we'll import all the Bootstrap JavaScript files and include our CSS that we just defined. So this will compile the Bootstrap and inject into the HTML. So if we refresh now, we should see the okay, it is compiled. Oh, wait until bundle is finished. Okay, it's working, compiled successfully. Yep. So we now have the Bootstrap running integrated into the webpack, and there are other optimization that we can do. So like extracting or minify, like for example, if you look into the HTML now, the entire Bootstrap is like injected inside the style tag instead of like a separate CSS file. This could be like performance bottleneck for like page load time or something. So we can use this extract min CSS plugin on the webpack to keep the CSS file separate as the JavaScript file. So what we can do, like we can install this package here and just stop the server. Okay, and then we'll need to add these or update the webpack config. So what I'm going to do is import that and enable this plugin under plugins. Okay, so where do we have the plugins? In here we have to enable this one, and we have to disable the style loader and enable this one. So you can just do and comment this out or completely remove this. Okay, now that's the setup for the getting separate CSS file, as you can see. So if we try to run the CSS now, like the webpack run command, okay, and it will do the compilation. Okay, and if we refresh now, we should have the CSS into the separate file. Okay, the CSS, as you can see, it's inside the separate file. Now that's it for the webpack, but before we start setting up all the bundlers, we'll take the base metric so that we can compare these later against whatever the optimization we are going to do based on whatever the components that we have used in this page. So in order to do that, we have this build command, like a webpack build, and it should give us the base metrics of what is the size of the bundle, CSS and the JavaScript. So what I'll do here, I'll just run npm build. Okay, okay, so let's see the metrics here. The main.css is 227 KB and the JavaScript is 78.7 KB. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to store this metrics into the readme file for our future reference. So what I'll do is I'll create the readme file. So I'll call it Bootstrap file CSS/JS optimization. And we'll just add the webpack here. And then let's say these are our best metrics. CSS is 227 KB and the JavaScript is 78.7 KB. Okay. Now is there any table or something I can create? Yes, CSS and best metrics. So we'll just create this table saying best, and this is CSS and this is going to be the JavaScript. CSS is 227 and JavaScript is 78.7. So we now have the best metrics for the both webpack. Okay, a few more touch-ups here. So since we are using the Git repository, we'll be syncing these changes to the GitHub as well. So let's quickly create git ignore. And I want to ignore models, then any editors pick folders, Mac file, this extra, any log file, and all the disk directories. Okay. Okay, nice. So this is our integration with the webpack. Okay, so once this is done, let's get the best metrics for another bundler, which is in the docs. What do we have? Parcel. Okay, so again the flow is same. We create the directory, set up the bundler, install the dependency, and configure the bootstrap. Okay, so we're going to follow the same for the parcel as well. New directory, parcel. Okay, install the bootstrap and Pupper.js. Okay, then set up the projects, directories, and files. Copy the content. Set up the script. And then we can just do npm start to start the server. Okay, server running on localhost port 1234. So let's open that. Okay, all done. Okay, so again this is running, but we have to configure the bootstrap now. So going back to the docs, import this into the style.css, and then import this into the main.js. Okay, that's all, and this should it's building the compiling the CSS and JavaScript. Done. Yeah. Okay, now this one is also done. Okay, in the list we have this compiled CSS and JavaScript files. Now we need to create the build base metrics here. So in order to grab those, we'll need to set up the build parcel build script here. So to be honest, like I've never used parcel, so this is the first time. Okay, in the parcel.js now I have to figure out how to set up the build. I have never used the parcel before, so this is new to me. Okay, there is a build command. Okay, we can just run this. Interesting. So what they're saying is we can just copy this and we make it build. I'm expecting some error here. Okay, now we have the build command, so let's try to run that. Okay, we have the error, cannot find the style sheet import. So basically it's unable to find this transformer or something. I believe this can be done through some configuration. Is there config? Configuration. Okay, interesting. We can do this one like transformers. Okay, parcel. We just have to copy and create the parcel dot rc and default config. I'll think I'll need to use the ChatGPT. Okay, got it. So what I'm going to do is make it parcel rc and copy it with some code here. So, and we don't need this either. And under the CSS, I think we need to add this one. Okay, include projects in this one, and let's try it now if that works. Models, blah, blah, blah. SRC, then we have a CSS, and then I have that. I run the build again. Invalid parcel config. Okay, let's ship this to the ChatGPT now. I'm moving to ChatGPT, and let's see what we are getting in here. It looks like when the parcel that indicates that. Okay. Why don't you just fix it? Okay, nice. Let's try this one. Yeah, I think could be indent error or something. Oh. Okay. Still. Interesting. Oh, let's go into the documentation. Device for this one, transformers. Red like this one. Not, no, it says the bootstrap not found. So how about we change the path? Not working. Okay. Let's say node underscore models. Okay, it's building. Okay. Window index switches. Let's try to remove that as well. Don't need this for now. Let's just give me the build. Okay, finally we have some builds and the build metrics. Okay, is there any way? I think there is like configuration that we can do and improve this. Not at the moment. We'll come back to this later. What we were looking for these base metrics that we can just recur for the later on. So this is the second one, and this is parcel, and the base metrics are 222.11 for the CSS and 91.94 for the JavaScript. Little big than Webpack. Okay, now that is done for parcel. Let's commit this and continue with wait. Okay, looks like there is some cache going on, so I just need to update the git ignore, and we'll just add parcel cache here so that we can ignore these files and just keep only the one that we need. Okay, and then okay, bootstrap plus parcel. Okay, now that is done, we'll continue with Vue.js. So Vue new bundler, so same thing here as well. We have to set up the directory and everything, and we'll get the bootstrap integrated. Okay, one of the things that we could just notice that in the bootstrap's official documentation there is no build statement for parcel. Yes, it does make like it does compile the files for the production, but it's not using the proper production tags or build tag here. So I will open the quick PR for this as well, but before that let's capture the metrics for Vue. Okay, let's create the new directory again. and we'll cd into it. Okay. Then follow the documentation to create the basic starter template. We have the package.json. Now we can install the Bootstrap. There we go. Then we have to install the SAS to support the CSS compilation, and then we have to set up the project structure exactly the same as others. This time we have this with.config.js. Okay. Then we can just copy and paste it over here. It's fun. Update the index.html. And start command for package.json. Okay, then after that we can just start the server, so we can start. It starts on port 8080, same as webpack, but okay, we do not have webpack running in the background, so it's fine. Now we have to configure the Bootstrap as well, so style of CSS again. Pretty much the steps are same for all these bundlers. Okay, it's hot reloaded, so we should see the Bootstrap integrated in here in any moment. Page reload. Yeah, all good. Yeah. So the Bootstrap is done, integrated with Vite. Okay. But again we have to grab the base metrics here, so same thing, we have to set up the build statement, which is not mentioned in the starter template of the Bootstrap docs. So what we'll do is go into the package.json, and I think the command is with build, if I'm not wrong. Let's visit the with doc. Building for production, we can just go on with build. Okay, nice. Okay, terminate the old one. We are going to run npm run build. What's inside the Vite cd npm run build, and this should give us the base metrics for the Vite as well. Okay, perfect. So this one for the Vite, let's note it down. Base CSS is 225.78 and the JavaScript is 82.41. Okay, so that is done. We can just go and commit this. Okay, all good. We just locate Bootstrap plus. Okay, all up. Now we have the base metrics for 3 bundlers now: Webpack, Parcel, and Vite. These are very close to one another, so Next thing we are going to do is try to optimize the CSS, because it's 200 KB is kind of huge. Not that huge, but like it's kind of large enough to be the issue in the SEO or issue report, SEO reports and something like that. So next thing we are going to do is are we going to open the PRs for the Bootstrap, like parcel and wait build commands? I'm not sure. So anyway, let's go back and try to pull some example template in here so that we can test with only things that are used to be kept into the CSS, and just remove these. So we'll just pull some of this page, one of this page, and keep it consistent across all the bundlers. And according to docs, we can optimize the CSS by using there is some external articles over here which are using purge CSS. So purge CSS is, I think, used by Tailwind. Yeah, it's used by the Tailwind. So Tailwind is one of the their sponsor, as you can see on the page. So what we'll do, we'll try to use this to optimize the end CSS bundle first, then we'll come back to the JavaScript and everything. Okay, so first thing, we'll try to pull up some page that we can just check, and or maybe some landing product page that we can just copy paste and keep it as a landing page, and then do some lighthouse reports on those, and then we'll try to optimize the CSS. So this one looks good. Is there any external CSS or additional CSS that is used? I think so. They're using CSS, like a link, canonical links. Yeah, they're using some inline CSS here. Not inline, but doc CSS. Okay. What else? Is there a simple page that we can use? A blog page. Okay, this one also works. So let's check the resource page. Yeah, I think pretty much every example page is going to have this custom CSS and the JavaScripts for this page specific. I think that is for search or something like that. This is not very active in here, but one of the issues is that I don't know which components are used in here. I can see navbar is used, some utility classes, and are they like using, yeah, the grid is just basic thing. UL basic typography is used. Flex MD equal. Okay, these new classes in the Bootstrap. Okay, I do not see cards being used or something. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll have to decide which page we are going to use. So two candidates are blog page and another is the product page. We also have the album page as well. We can use this one too. This has the navigation and everything going on. Does this use external fonts? Like, I think so. Let's check that. Bootstrap, in.css, and SVG. button BD primary. And I use this to specify the custom button as well. Button mode toggle, drop down menu. Okay, it must be related to the mobile screen. Search isn't working. If I click on any of these links, it's not working. This is good, but these images. Interesting. Anyway, we'll go with the blog page. So let's try to set that up on our bundlers. The pricing page is also very simple, and just want to check if any of these are using Bootstrap's components like cards. Yeah, this one is using the cards. So yeah, we'll go with the checkout page. So first thing, we'll have to grab this HTML, and let's start with the webpack first. And in index.html, we are going to just copy paste all of this. Bootstrap and what else? External resources. So I'm trying to figure out the whatever the external resources that are being used here, and then we can just hard code these into our templates. Okay, this is the template link. Not useful. Style sheet. This is coming from CDing, so we are going to ignore that as well. Okay, this one looks good, so I'll just copy this and try to paste it down here. We don't want this one. We are going to use our own JavaScript. Logo will not work, so this is where we'll just copy paste the entire URL, and then I hope there is no pause policy for that image. Okay, they are loading some pricing.css as well. Interesting. Let's try to grab that as well. There it is, pricing.css. Let's see what's in it. Oops, there is not much of it. So what we'll do, I just paste it into here. Okay. Then CSS and everything. I think I just need to prefix all the URLs with the Bootstrap links. So let me grab the head, like host, the Bootstrap. Script for the color modes. Okay. This is again their JavaScript. So I think we are going to copy paste a lot of code. So from that one. So this is the switcher that we see here. Dark mode and auto. Anyway, what we'll do, let's just copy that and paste it into our main.js. Okay, main.js. And separate that later. This one. Pricing page CSS, we are Okay, they do have the CSS and doc research. Doc search. I think this is something else. Okay. Anyway, let's see what we have in the page. So we don't need this color. JavaScript. We don't need this style sheet. We don't want this. We don't want any of these meta tags or web icons for now. Okay, and then I'll just copy the title. And just check if that's working fine. Okay, priming.css, we don't need this one either. So inline CSS is going on too. Okay, nice. So we have the page up. Let's try to run that. cd webpack, and our command is npm run start. This will start the server on port 8080, which is this one. I'm expecting things to break, so let's see. Nice. Okay, why it's not working? Let's remove the canonical link as well, and these two as well. We don't want any of the meta tags. We don't want this one. Okay, let's check the inspector if there is any cost related errors. No, which is good. Okay, nice. We have it working. This one, yeah, everything is working fine. Perfect. Is it responsive? Yes. Okay, nice. So we have this page up and running. Now next thing we are going to do is we are going to replicate this on Beat and Parcel starter template as well. Okay, so this one is looking good. We have this JavaScript to be used. Okay, so I'll just copy the index.html, paste it into the parcel, index.html. Make sure you have to include these two, and rest should stay the same. Okay. Okay, what is going on? I want these 3, not 2, just to keep things consistent. And that's it. Okay, let's try to run the parcel now. cd into parcel directory. And the same command. Start the development server. Yeah. Okay, let's open the page. It is working. JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is not working. We have to copy the JavaScript from that toggle for the mode switch, like dark mode and light. we're just going to put that over here. Okay, that is done. If we refresh again, and it should work. Perfect. Same thing, we are going to replicate this into the wheat as well. Okay. Go into the index, copy this file, open it into the and paste into the wheat. We are going to need to copy this too, and it's the HTML starting webpack over here. We need to paste it over here. All good. Then in the JavaScript we have to include the theme switcher or toggler, color mode toggler, what they're calling. We will just copy paste that into the its main.js as well. Okay, now let's cd into the wait and then run npm start. Okay, it's running. Let's try to open it. Okay, interesting. Still loading. Yeah, it's working on the wait as well. So if I change this, it's working fine. Okay, so that is done. We'll just commit this, not comment. Okay, what if we can just export that into the anyway, we're not going to spend some time on it. So, and pricing page artist, or we can say pricing page template. Let's push this one. Okay, now let's try to get the best metrics for this page as well, just to see if these are changing or not. JavaScript should like be different. Let's start with webpack. Npm run build. Okay, these are the same, just the JavaScript increased because we have added this JavaScript again. That is fine. Let's do the same for wheat. Sorry, let's start parcel. Npm run build. Okay, the matrix is 93.43. And the CSS stays the same because we do not have any changes in the CSS yet. Okay, now let's switch to the width. Npm build. Okay, CSS stays the same. JavaScript 83.95. Okay, so that is done for the Vita as well. Okay, now let's commit these metrics. Okay, now let's try to optimize the CSS using the Bootstrap way before even going into the Purge CSS. So let's go into the Webpack. One of the way we can improve the CSS bundle size is just including the models or components that are we are using into the page. Explain how you can do the compiling and everything. Okay, so since we are going to start with Webpack, let's start with it. So by default we are importing all the Bootstrap here. So what we want is we want only specific things of this. Okay, so let's in the Bootstrap, like this is as you can see, like the single line imports entire Bootstrap's CSS bundle, but what we want to is we want to cherry pick some of these things. So in the second example here, we can see like this entire single import is separated into the like multiple import statements, and you can include all of these as you want, and you can just optimize based on this. And there are like this is one of the way you can just customize the Bootstrap as well. Like you can just override these variables in the same file, and the Bootstrap you can customize the Bootstrap according to your needs. For now, what we are looking for is we want to have the like only include the CSS that is required to us. So in here we are calling Bootstrap CSS and CSS, and if we like go into this file and let's try to go in here, as you can see it's into the like node models Bootstrap directory, then into the CSS folder, and under that we have this functions.scss. so all of these files are like SAS models that we can just cherry pick and select whatever we want. So in here what we are going to do is let's try to copy all of this. Not sure if that will work, but yeah. And then we'll just prefix all of this with this Bootstrap prefix so that it gets matched. Okay. Maps, mixins, utility CSS, root, reboot, typography, images, containers, grid, tables, forms, buttons, transitions, drop downs, button groups, navs, navbar, and so on. We'll just update all of these quickly. And after this, what is this utilities API? Okay, yep, breakpoints. Okay, now we have commented out this line. We'll try to see if that works, like npm run build, just to ensure that our build is successful when we comment this line. Okay, it is working. The build size as expected 227. Now we try to remove the all unused models. Okay, so starting with let's look into the page that we have developed and try to remove one by one. And start. Let's check that page again, or what we can do is just okay, we don't need the server. We can just go into the index.html and see what things we want. We want the containers, and navs. Okay, container navs, buttons, drop downs. Okay, cards is something that we want. Tables. Okay, that is essentially that. Okay, nice. Let's remove rest of the things. We'll keep the containers. Grid tables. We want forms. Let's check. Are we using any forms in here? Nope. So we'll just comment that out. Are we using buttons transitions? I don't think, but we'll keep it. Drop down button groups. You know what? Let's try to run the server and just check quickly on the page. Okay, we are using buttons and tables. There is no form in anywhere. Let me click on it. So we can just disable the forms. Button groups, nope. So we can disable that as well. Drop downs, yes, we are using the drop down here, I guess. So let's cross check again. Is that a dropped out? Sorry, drop down. And yeah, there is some drop down going on, and which is related to there's theme colors, so we'll keep those. Then navbar, yes. Is it a navbar? It looks like customized one. Control F. Navbar. No, they are not using the navbar. Interesting. So they're creating the custom nav with this header element and just using the nav element. So we can just remove the navbar. Cards they are using, yes. Coding not. Breadcrumbs, I don't see any. Nope. Pagination not. Badges not. No, we are not using badges. Alerts, I don't see any. Progress, list groups, close. Okay, close is I think related to the models, so that is not those. We are not using models. Tooltips we'll have to check. Probably it might break the drop downs. Cursors no, spinners no, off canvas no, placeholders no. We'll keep the helpers as it is, and then utilities for now. Okay, let's try to run that again. Is it already running? Yeah, it was already running. Okay, so that is done. Let's refresh the page just to see if anything is broken. Nope, everything is working fine. Yeah, our toggles and everything are working fine. So what we removed is quite a lot of things. And for example, let's say if we had to remove the cards, and it will just stop, these cards will stop working once this is complete. Yeah, as you can see, these are gone now. So this is one of the way, like you can just optimize the CSS. Okay, so now let's try to see what is our compile size. We can remove few more things here, I believe. Let's say if they are using grid. Yeah, grid is something that is very common, so I'm not going to remove it. Typography, like these styles and everything, so to that. Border tops, utility, CSS, extract, cards, okay, no columns, flex, again utilities, links. Okay, buttons we are using. Maps we have to keep those. Okay, but if I remove the drop down, it will stop working. Are we using any transitions here? I don't think so. This is a very simple page, by the way, so it's up to you. I'm going to disable these because I don't see anywhere we are using any transitions over here. These are just hover effects, and yeah, we are not using transitions. Okay, that is done. We have removed quite of things. Say this is a table that we have the table. Okay. Okay, nice. So since we have this one optimized, let's mimic this on all other bundlers. So same thing in here. What if I am going to do is override this one and just copy paste the new CSS that we just configured, and let's do the same thing for parcel package as well. Now what we'll do is we'll run the bundler again. npm run build. So this is going to be the webpack's new optimized CSS. So by default it was 227 and now we are at 130 KB. Okay, we can reduce that size quite a lot, if, and but we want to keep some of these things that for example utilities CSS will include a lot of utility classes that I don't think are all of those are used in here. So we are going to keep these as like base metrics for like very minimal changes or minimal improvements to the Bootstrap's style.css, and then we'll try to configure the purge CSS and try to reduce the size even further. Okay, so now let's note down our new metrics like CSS optimized metrics. And we are now 130 KB, 223, almost like 100 KB size improvement. Let's grab the metrics for all other package bundlers. So let's go to the parcel, npm run build. Interestingly, it worked. Last time it was throwing some errors. Anyway, we'll just these new updates. We have optimized the CSS optimization. Okay, the purge CSS, the parcels CSS optimizations are 128.04. Okay, this is bit small, and back. Now let's do the same for width. npm run build. And the size is 128.50. Okay, so this let's look for the CSS optimization, or we can call it SAS optimization. Now let's try to optimize that even further using Purge CSS. We're already into, like, what's the time into the stream? 1 hour 22 minutes, which is fine. Let's go into optimization. Pre-built example for the Purge CSS with the Bootstrap. Here are some helpful walkthrough that community has written. One of these is article from Darwest Foundation. I hope I have spelled it correctly. And then another is from Luke. We'll try to read through these and see what they're doing. But before that, let's grab the best lighthouse metrics here, so that we get to know, like, what is wrong with these pages. And what we'll do, let's switch to the webpack again, and then in here I will just start the server. Or how we are, like, distributing in here. Yeah, we already have the server. We can just start this index.html. So let's have it open that in the Chrome. It's not going to work. It's referencing these files anyway. So what we are going to do is start the servers maybe. We can set up the Express server and everything. And that works. Let's try to see what I know this is not a good approach, but just a quick start. We'll switch into the private window and open the lighthouse and try to grab the metrics for both screens, mobile and the desktop. Again, this is not the best approach that you could do. Like, we should be kind of okay. There is not much of improvement that we can do. But yeah, let's refresh this one. We are seeing the CSS to be in the JavaScript 117 CSS. Okay, these are like two different files. Okay. This is not the way. Okay, let's close this. I need to serve this. What can I use to serve these pages? I should get the boilerplate here, but just quickly serve by insert. Okay, let's do that. That works. And we want the Express, and we can set up the index.js here. Then we just call node server JS to run the server, and I want to call the dist index, so we can just say dist folder that I want to use, and this should work. Name it express for now, and we can call node index.js. Okay, then we can run, say we can run express. Server is running on the port 3000, so if I go to the port 3000, it's working. Then let's try to, I don't think we are going to get any metrics on here because these are running on loyalty locally. But yeah, anyway, these are very good, but are there any CSS related issue? Reduce unused CSS. Okay, we are getting that one, which is cool. And reduce unused JavaScript. So there is quite a lot of it. Like we are not using almost 80% of JavaScript or 80% of CSS. So let's start integrating the purge. Okay, what we can do here is let's go through the articles and try to figure out what the community has created. Automatically removed unused CSS from the Bootstrap and other frameworks. Okay. But CSS is the package this guy is using. Webpacks. Okay, so they like this guy has this guide on the webpack. So basically we have to update the webpacks config here, and we have to use this purge CSS webpack plugin and extract text webpack plugin. So these are the two plugins that we'll need to use. Then okay, interesting. Whitelist selectors. The plugin accepts the arrow path for the views for selectors to using blah blah blah. Okay, can be anything. So we basically specify where to look for these HTML files and figure out which classes are used and remove rest of things. The whitelist parameter allows you to exclude selectors from first that may have not been present in the path. I found the select list plugin I'm using currently. So I added the pattern from that. Okay, interesting. So he was using some like a plugin for his personal project, and he do not wanted to like exclude that CSS from that. So that is cool. Please like or retweet. Okay, interesting. Now we have this like head start. Let's try to go through other article as well. This is from Nikia. Okay, we have this basic HTML, Bootstrap, grid.min.css, uses processes can stuff. Okay, interesting. Okay, so what this guy is doing is just kind of same. We can just call per CSS and CSS file output directory. If per CSS is installed, the normal we must run this command through the npm release. Okay, transform now, change the path of Bootstrap into context of, and then create npm script to run the per CSS. Okay, setup using webpack, amplify.js using Utilify.js is another plugin that we just discovered. Okay, Purge CSS plugin along with Utilify.js. Okay. Reduced from 62 KB to 601 bytes. All on the selector has been removed. Okay, interesting. So these are the good insights into how they are configuring the Webpack. We do not have any hint for parcel or wheat. Let's try to read through more documentation. We do have the Webpack plugin for Purge CSS. We do not have the Webpack plugin. Sorry, the compiler for. Okay, Vue also has this one. For the parcel, we'll have to check. Okay, we can configure the Purge CSS with the Vue as well, which is good news. Now, I think this is related to the Vue project or something, but anyway, we are using Vite, so it's more of into this guy's territory. Anyway, even if that doesn't work, like what we have is we build the file and use the Purge CSS method, like command line interface, kind of like this Purge CSS, and we specify the CSS file and the content files, like where to look for into, and we can just optimize this. Interesting. Content output. Okay, interesting. So per CSS we have to configure this too. Okay, let's note down some of these things for now. What do we have in here is this is an Express server just to mimic. It's actually running on the server, so we can replicate this on all of these packages. So let's do that. So we are basically saying that let's serve this index. Okay, and let's quickly do that and set things up. We'll also need to install the Express. Wait, npm install Express. We now have the Express here as well. We can copy paste this command to serve it on the Mac production. Let's do the same in the parcel as well. Again, these configurations may differ based on your preference. I'm just trying to show like what are the ways we can optimize the CSS. So Purge CSS is the way to go, but we'll have to figure out how we can configure on these two as well, along with the Webpack. Let's go into the parcels directory and install the Express.js. Okay, now node index.js, which is going to basically serve the disper directory wherein we have the index.html. Okay, interesting. Okay, now that we have these two, lag express server. Okay, so far we have noticed there are some like missing documentation for uh, like wheat build and parcel build scripts. So we can add this into our to-do list for later, wherein we can just send the PRs to Bootstrap directly. So what I'll do here is PRs to send. First one is parcel build docs, and then wait build docs. Okay. Okay, so that is one. We can say in this PR later after we finish our R&D phase. Let's see what we have built so far. Let's go to the github.com and we'll try to go to list by optimize. Yes, so these are the metrics that we have so far. Base pages we started with like 227 KB. Now currently we are at like 130 KB base, like using customized SAS. Okay, there are some typos. Let's fix those. We are missing the KB. Let's view that again. Okay, so I think that's it for the today. We'll continue with the Perth CSS tomorrow, and we'll try to figure out what we can do for adding plugins for wheat and parcel. So we'll have to go through these documentations as well, and after this, once we finish this, we'll try to send this research to the Bootstrap directly included in here, so that important thing is like we have to have this optimization things going on here. We can also improve the JavaScript as well. One of the way we can do is the same thing that we did for the CSS. What we have to do is we have to only import the models that we are going to use. So I think Bootstrap has some examples in here. So for example, yeah, this one, like we can only include specific components that we want to use. We'll have to check for that if that is possible or not. and also possibly we'll look into the Cursor.js. This is again just to like optimize the bundle size, like minifier or something. So I don't think we'll be using that, but I think this webpack and all these tools has the minifications built into those. So but anyway, if that is required, then we'll look into that as well. So that's it for today.